You wake up Monday morning with that quiet promise. This week is different. You eat what you think you're supposed to eat. You drink more water. You take a walk. You even skip the late night snack you usually reach for without thinking. And a few days later, you step on the scale and nothing happens. Or worse, your weight is up a little, and suddenly your brain starts negotiating. Maybe my body just doesn't lose weight. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe this is pointless. If that moment feels familiar, I want you to know something right away. You're not alone, and you're not broken. In fact, for many people, losing the first 5 pounds can feel harder than losing the next 20. Not because fat loss is easier later, but because at the beginning, you're not just dealing with fat, you're dealing with noise. My name is Dr. William, and I spend way too much time thinking about fat loss and why the scale lies. If you're someone who keeps trying to lose weight but the first 5 pounds won't budge, and it's killing your motivation, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. And before we get into it, this message is educational, not medical advice. If you have a medical condition, are pregnant, or take medication, especially for blood sugar, blood pressure, or thyroid, talk with your clinician before making changes. Now, here's the calm truth. That number on the scale is not fat. The fat of the entire body's total mass at that moment. Water, food volume, glycogen, inflammation, hormones, and yes, fat. But fat is often the slowest moving piece of the puzzle, especially in the first week or two. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body can hold on to 2 to 6 pounds of water for reasons that have nothing to do with fat gain. If you start exercising, especially if you haven't in a while, your muscles store water as they repair. That soreness you feel? It's part of recovery, and water is part of the process. If you eat healthier but your foods are higher in sodium, soups, sauces, deli meats, restaurant meals, even healthy packaged snacks, your body may retain water, not forever, but enough to hide progress on the scale. And if you're sleeping poorly, your body can behave as if it's under stress. The CDC recommends adults get at least 7 hours of sleep per night, and many people regularly get less. When sleep is short, hunger tends to rise, cravings get louder, and your energy to move drops, without you consciously choosing it. So the first 5 pounds often isn't a willpower problem, it's a measurement problem. Because the scale is a blunt tool. It shows you the result, but not the process underneath. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm eating healthy. I'm trying. Why isn't anything changing? This is where it gets really interesting. A lot of people do improve food quality and still don't create a consistent calorie deficit, simply because the biggest drivers are often invisible. 2 common ones, liquid calories and cooking fats. That coffee that looks harmless can quietly be 200 to 400 calories, depending on what's added. A healthy smoothie can turn into 600 calories fast if it's loaded with nut butter, honey, and extra servings of fruit. And oil. This one matters. 1 tablespoon of oil is about 120 calories. If you pour oil freely into a pan twice a day, you can erase your deficit without ever feeling like you overate. I'm not saying oil is bad, I'm saying it's powerful. Another factor is portion drift. Over time, we all tend to serve a little more. It's normal. Studies that look at self-reported intake show people often underestimate how much they're eating. Not because they're dishonest, but because it's genuinely hard to track by memory. So early on, the first 5 pounds is often the phase where you stop guessing. Not forever, not obsessively, just long enough to learn what your real baseline looks like. And psychologically, this early phase is the most fragile, because motivation is waiting for evidence. Your brain wants a quick signal. This is working. If it doesn't see it, it pushes you toward extremes, cutting too low, over-exercising, trying to be perfect for 3 days, and then burning out on day 4. So, instead of chasing intensity, I want you to focus on something that works better, reducing noise and increasing consistency. Here's a simple way to approach the first 14 days, and it's designed to be realistic. First, don't let daily weigh-ins decide your mood. If you can weigh daily without spiraling, do it. But track your 7-day average, not the single number. Your weight can swing 1 to 3 pounds day to day just from water and digestion, but the weekly average shows the trend. Second, build a boring anchor meal, 1 meal per day that is consistent and higher in protein. For many people, breakfast is the easiest place to start. Aim for 25 to 35 grams of protein at that meal for 1 week. That could be Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, tofu, a simple smoothie with measured ingredients, whatever fits your diet. Protein tends to increase fullness and can reduce the random snacking that doesn't feel like real eating. Third, do a 7-day invisible calories audit. Not your whole life, just 7 days. Measure your cooking oil. Pay attention to drinks. Watch the snacks that disappear while standing in the kitchen. The goal isn't guilt, the goal is clarity. Fourth, make movement easy enough that you actually repeat it. If you're not currently very active, don't start with 10,000 steps like it's a law. Start with 2,000 extra steps per day for 10 days. That's often about a 15-20 minute walk, depending on the person. If you want a simple trick, take that walk after your biggest meal. Many people find it helps with cravings, digestion, and energy, not as a magic cure, just as a practical habit. Fifth, and I'm going to say these words gently, sleep is a metabolic tool, not a luxury. You don't need a perfect routine. You need one small shift you can keep. For 7 nights, do one of these. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier, or do a 10-minute wind down before bed. Dim lights, put your phone away, and keep it simple. You're not chasing perfection. You're creating a signal for your nervous system to downshift. And finally, if you can, add strength training 2 days per week. Not because it burns huge calories in the moment, but because it helps preserve muscle while you're losing weight, and muscle influences how your body uses energy over time. It can be very simple. Squats or sit-to-stands, a push movement, a pull movement, a hinge pattern, and a core exercise. 2 to 3 sets each. That's it. Now, what changes after the first 5 pounds? Once your sleep is a little steadier, sodium swings calm down, your routine becomes consistent, and your intake matches your goal more reliably, the scale starts behaving. Not perfectly, but predictably. And that's why the next 20 can feel easier. Not because your body suddenly becomes cooperative, but because you've removed the hidden friction. The first 5 pounds are where you earn momentum. And I want to leave you with a simple challenge, something you can start today. For the next 7 days, choose one consistent protein-based meal, measure cooking oil, replace liquid calories with low or zero-calorie options most days. Add 2,000 steps, and either sleep 30 minutes longer or do a 10-minute wind down. Then track your 7-day average weight. Let the trend speak, not the daily noise. If you do that, you'll have something most people never get, real feedback. And with real feedback, you can adjust without panicking. If this helped, subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. And tell me in the comments, what's the hardest part for you right now? Cravings, consistency, sleep, or the scale messing with your head?